Something developed for Marcus Allen. Joe Nash, the first to make contact.
I mean, I think the Seahawks right now have to seriously think about taking Patrick Hunter out of the ballgame. Or they're going to come right after him with James Lofton or Bo Jackson. Somebody's going to challenge him up the sideline to this side of the field.
He gets cramps too, and it looks like he might have a problem right now with that.
Well, they're missing Kerry Justin, who underwent surgery, and he was obviously placed on injured reserve, so they're a little weak depth-wise in the secondary.
They put Lofton right over in front of him.
Yeah, one-on-one. And Lofton gets taken down as the sack is made. The blitz was on. Bosworth gets the sack. But you talk about a takedown in the secondary. Lofton was just wrestled down by Patrick Hunter. He had no chance.
And I think everybody in the stadium is looking right at that confrontation.
And there's a flag here, too, on this.
Watch this. Hunter beaten badly, has no choice. He just tackles James Lofton.
3 points.
He has no choice. You got to take this kid out of the ballgame.
Or take himself out of the ballgame. He can do that also.
Well, you admire his courage for attempting to play hurt. But sometimes you hurt your team in doing so.
On number 23 on the defense. 5 yards and an automatic first down.
Still, they're not even indicating they might take him out yet.
I mean, this is a tough game. And the Seahawks, I think, might be a little naive here if they don't think the Raiders aren't going to come right back. I mean,
I think they'll see it again.
They, as we mentioned, put Justin on injured reserve. They activated another defensive back today, Mark Moore. They have David Hollis and Melvin Jenkins as their backup corners.
Well, they had Hollis up for a moment, and it looked as though he were coming in, number 25, but they leave Hunter in there.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Bosworth wants to know what happened to my sack. It's good for the personal highlight film, but it doesn't count.
Well, this time it's Jesse Hester they bring over on top of Patrick Hunter.
Brace yourself, Hunter.
Yep. He's going to get some help, though.
Yeah, look at the way Robinson is moving over.
And Wilson's going to look the other way for Dokie Williams, and he can't hold on. It's Jenkins covering. Jenkins playing the other side. 2nd and 10. 9:40 to play. 4th period. Raiders lead by 23. Mel Jenkins signed as a free agent out of the University of Cincinnati. Second and 10. Bo stopped by Kenny Easley. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. The Kingdom in Seattle. With 9 minutes and 15 seconds, a reminder, Nightline, Gorbachev's first television interview is tonight's topic. And that will follow your late local news here on ABC. 3rd down 10 from the 44-yard line. And off the fingertips of Dokie Williams, with Jenkins there covering on the play.
Seattle brought the full blitz, and they had, once again, Lofton all lined up, one-on-one with Patrick Hunter, but they chased Wilson out of the pocket. He was unable to go to Lofton, and Lofton had beaten Hunter.
I was very surprised that Seattle was leaving Hunter locked up one-on-one. James ran a crossing pattern, and Hunter was a good 2 to 3 steps behind him, but the crossing pattern was away from the direction in which Wilson was flush. He had no opportunity to get it back across the field.
Bobby Joe Edmonds, his dad played in the old ABA with the Pacers back in the 60s. Stan Pally, big rush, gets the kick away, and Edmonds fields, drops it, and recovers his own fumble at the 18-yard line. Eddie Anderson there to stop him with 8:44 to go in the fourth period, and Seattle's down 37-14.
You know what? I'd expect me to look. I'm about 12 inches from the camera.
You look like John Madden's trailer.
We were talking about the Buffalo Bills taking on the Raiders this Sunday. If you're the Bills coaching staff, what are you thinking about tonight in terms of trying to stop Bo Jackson?
Trying to get a 12th man on the field.
Cornelius Bennett earned it.
From the 18-yard line, the Seahawks start from the shotgun on 1st and 10. And Krieg gets sacked by Greg Townsend. Back at the 5-yard line.
You look at this team and you say, how in the world did they lose 7 in a row?
Well, they lost 7 in a row. They were always behind early. Dan had mentioned at the very top tonight, down 48-6 in the first quarter in their last 7 games.
And 4 of those losses, too, they were by less than 6 points.
Yep.
Well, they've been in a lot of games.
Yep.
But they have dominated totally here. It gets to you when somebody like a Bo Jackson does what he did as early as he did in this game.
Seattle, I think, is going to have to take a timeout. They were down to 5 seconds on the 30-second clock, and a timeout's been called.
Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf. Monday Night Football from the Kingdome, where Bo Jackson has run wild. Marcus Allen's had a big night, and the L.A. Raiders are on their way to snapping a 7-game losing streak, their longest in 25 years. Seattle, after having to spend a timeout, has it 2nd down and 21 from the 7-yard line. 8:15 to play in the fourth. It's Williams open over the middle. Gets out to the 22-yard line. He still comes up about 6 yards short of the first down with 3rd down upcoming. Seattle beginning the year with a loss to Denver. Broncos blew them away by 23. Then they beat Kansas City. They were 2-1 during the strike. Destroyed the Raiders in the first post-strike game. Beat Minnesota. Looked terrible against the Jets. Knocked off Green Bay. Looked fabulous against San Diego. And now tonight, go figure them. 3rd down. Have to get to the 28. And they get it out to the 31 for a first down. That's Byron Franklin, and that's a great reception for Franklin, who applauds himself, and well he should. Bad knee injury last year. Hadn't played in a year. Got into the game last week. Didn't catch a ball, and makes his first catch in over a calendar year right here.
Had a couple of great years for Buffalo, and of course Chuck Knox knew him from there. When he needed a receiver a couple of years ago, he brought him in and missed all of last year.
From the 30-yard line. Krieg, and it's intercepted but out of bounds, so it's incomplete. Ron Fellows coming down with it.
You know, you want to go through the mind of Chuck Knox, who has been around this game for a long time. He had 5 division champions with the Rams. He took the Buffalo Bills to playoffs a couple of years, and he was, well, he just was confused when we talked with him today. As Dan mentioned earlier, he was almost apologetic at the game we had with the Jets on Monday night a few weeks ago, and of course the Jets totally dominated that. He said, we think that we'll give you a better show tonight. I just don't know whether he could put a finger on it.
You're wondering what he's thinking? I'll tell you what he's thinking.
Where's my razor?
His blood pressure is up a lot. This is not going to be a fun week to be a Seattle Seahawk.
2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Krieg steps up, throws out to the 36-yard line, and the catch is made there by Ray Butler. Funny thing about the two coaches, we were talking to Tom Flores last night, and Flores had said what he plans to do early in the game is try to establish that short passing game, somewhat similar to the way the 49ers go about things. And then when we talked to Knox under this now it can be told scenario, Knox said, I think he's going to run Bo right at us.
Yeah, well, I guess which one was right.
Yeah.
And actually, it was Chuck Knox that said, we're going to try to go over the top. We're the ones that are going to throw long.
3rd and 3, and it's incomplete. Scansy can't hold it.
That's exactly what he said. It would surprise us when he told us that they were going to go up on top. But Seattle, with a win tonight, could have moved into a first-place tie, and they look down at their schedule. They have Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh playing very well. Then they have Denver here. That one will not be a piece of cake for them. Then they finish at Chicago, and then at Kansas City. So a long road yet for Chuck Knox and the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, just one game here, and that's against Denver. Everything else on the road. 4th and 3, and they go for it, down by 23. And Craig sidearms it, and it's incomplete and nearly intercepted by James Davis. Intended for Scansy, and the Raiders get it back with 6:04 to go in the 4th. Los Angeles 37, Seattle 14. It's an opportunity on a Monday night game to see Seattle, so it's worth digesting some of Steve Largent's numbers, where he ranks on the NFL's all-time list, behind only Joyner in receptions and yardage, and behind only Don Hudson in touchdown catches.
And it's almost a foregone conclusion that he will have all of the key records by the time he retires, because he's not even talking retirement. And there's Dan's mechanical bird.
Yeah. The bird watch continues. There he is up in the rafters.
And the dangerous end was sticking out.
Here's Mueller reversing his field and tackled at the 29-yard line as he turns it into a 7-yard pickup, stopped by Kenny Easley.
I hope that speaker's out over the field somewhere. Someone will be very disappointed to have paid good money to see the Seahawks get handled and at the same time have a bad experience at the Kingdom.
And a large dry cleaning bill. Second and 3 at the 29-yard line. Strahan to the 21. You know, a funny thing about tonight's game, isn't it funny how a quarterback controversy can die with Bo Jackson running the football?
That's an excellent point. That's a very good point. This will be a football game that fans of the game, I think, are going to talk about for a long time.
And a patched-up offensive line looks like a starting Pro Bowl for you.
I know one thing. Mike Harden, the cornerback of the Denver Broncos, says, I'm sure he's saying this is taking a lot of heat off of me.
He was the guy bowled over by Bo last week. 21-yard line, 1st and 10. And a 3-yard loss as Gaines tackles Strahan to make it 2nd and 13, and the clock is down to 4:20. You know, the great thing about that run by Jackson, which was replayed quite often, and there's a Seahawks slow in getting up, and it's Patrick Hunter again, is the way he finished off that run where he bowled over hard, and then he made that knifing dive into the end zone.
He took off on about the 4-yard line and ended about 2 yards in the end zone. I mean, just talent that is really beyond description. The size, the speed, the instinct. Not often it's all in one total package like that.
On 2nd and 14, it's Mueller taking it to the 14-yard line. So when this one is over, San Diego will maintain its lead in the AFC West at 8 and 3, and then Denver will go into 2nd place at 7-3 and 1, and Seattle will drop to 3rd at 7 and 4. But as of the moment, Seattle would still go to the playoffs as a wild card, and there it is. Remember, the winner of the East will go in, and the way it looks right now, there'll be no wild card team out of the East. Then Cleveland has a leg up in the Central, and it figures that at the moment anyway, the 3 teams would come out of the West. First down as Mueller takes it to the 10-yard line.
You know, Al, you're talking about the wild card race. Keep in mind that those teams in the East that are at 6 and 5, they're all now only a game behind Seattle. So with 4 games left to go, they're only 1 game behind Seattle. It's no lock, these Seahawks being in the playoffs.
And so are Houston and Pittsburgh only a game behind at 6 and 5.
In the Central. So it is Seattle in the course of 3 hours has gone from potentially being tied for the lead in their own division to only being one game ahead of a whole pack of teams that would like to catch them between now and the 28th of December.
And a tough schedule upcoming for them. Strahan takes it to the 5. That's a great point, because had they won, they would have had, with San Diego, the best record in the conference. And since they've beaten San Diego in their only meeting this season, one other meeting was wiped out by the strike. After tonight, they would have had the home field advantage for all of the playoffs, at least as of the moment. And now they're kind of fighting for a playoff spot.
You are exactly right, my friend.
2-minute warning. We'll be back. With 2 minutes to play, Raiders have it wrapped up. They lead 37-14 before an emptying Kingdome. And the Raiders have the football at the 5-yard line. Second down, goal. Marc Wilson gives the ball to Strahan. And Steve takes it to the 4-yard line, where it will be third down and goal. Sir.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or any other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is strictly prohibited. And that might have been the most exciting thing in the fourth quarter.
We might see in the first half again.
Oh, are you kidding?
We saw something very special tonight, I think. I've not seen the likes of a Bo Jackson. I've seen Eric Dickerson. I've seen Jimmy Brown. O.J. Simpson. He sticks to this game, stays healthy. Wow.
Third and goal. And Strahan takes it down to the 2, and there's a marker, and that will stop the clock. Face mask ball coming up with 1:11, 1:12 to play.
I hope our audience, Frank, isn't just whisking away those words of yours. I mean, coming from a man of your background and the things you have seen, lofty praise indeed for Bo Jackson.
Face mask foul, number 62, defense, first down.
He did amazing things. We saw him do it last week. Tonight he came back and said that's no fluke. He turned Major League Pro Bowl football players into children.
I said it before, it's the old cliche, but I mean, every time he gets the ball, you get the feeling he can go all the way. He proved it from his own 9-yard line tonight. Almost broke another one. Extraordinary. Face mask call on Bahr, who was activated just before the game. And Strahan dives, but no signal yet if he did indeed make it on third down. And it appears he did not. It will spot the ball just short of the goal line.
I think Seattle's leapers and jumpers got there in time, Al.
I've heard that before. Divers.
Well, I don't know if this was a leaper, a jumper, or a diver. No, that was a stationary target. He just landed on him. It was none of the above.
It was a miscalculated jump.
It was none of the above.
Put that on the telestrator the next time, would you? Fourth and goal.
They're going to take this down and get a 5-yard penalty. They're not even going to try to take it in. Yep.
Yeah, a delay a game. And nobody will ever accuse the Raiders of running up the score.
No, they sure won't.
Game on the offense.
And we can tell you tonight's game produced by Ken Wolf, our director Larry Cam, technical director Joe Chavo, halftime producer Mike Pearl, halftime associate producer John McGinnis, our associate director Jeff Cohan, tech manager Bill Freeberger, unit manager Phil Annis, Al Schmitz, our telecommunications manager, Bruce Clark, and Carrie Warberfeld, our assistants to the producer, Steve Hurt, research and information, computer graphics Joe Castellano, Kelly Hayes, the mayor of Malibu, our spotter, and George Hill of Puget Sound. Thank you, folks. On fourth and goal from the 5-yard line, Mueller is stopped at the 3. And so the Raiders will not tack on any more points.
Gentlemen, I will meet you in Miami.
And that is a very important game for both teams. Every game in the AFC East is important for all the teams right now.
And a strange season, isn't it? The ups and the downs. Miami getting shut out. Now we have both these two teams down the line. We'll meet the Chicago Bears, and we have, of course, the Bears coming up on, what, December the 14th? After this game, a week from the Dolphins and the Jets. It'll be the Bears and the 49ers.
And there it is.
Big thing in this game right here with the Jets at 6-5 and the Dolphins at 5-6. If the Dolphins should lose that game, for all intents and purposes, it's all over. Their season is ended.
Raiders 366 yards rushing tonight. That's a new team record as they have helped to rewrite the record book. Krieg lost one and it's intercepted at the 8-yard line, running it back to the 8, Stephon Adams.
Everybody just quit on Dave Krieg. He was the only one that was still playing football.
He pumped twice before he threw the football. I mean, he couldn't have been more deliberate.
Yancey was looking back at him like, who, me? A receiver? Krieg standing in his own end zone. He's hot.
Well, I'm sure that he's hot. I'm sure that he's embarrassed. I'm sure that he's running the gamut of emotions, as are these guys, the Raiders. That's a big piano off of their backs. Almost 2 months without winning a football game. It has to feel good for this man, and we talked with him last night, and his pride has been deeply wounded by what's happened. He knows he's a good coach with a good organization and just couldn't put a finger on the problem.
I'm going to say it goes right through the organization. Al Davis right on down. It's been tough for them. This is a very prideful team. Tonight, they put it together like they felt they could throughout that entire 7-game losing streak. But that man, he's something different.
Well, here are the Bo numbers to wrap it up. 221 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. 1 catch, and that was good for a touchdown. Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen and Tom Flores and the Raiders do it by a score of 37-14. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Deerdorf. Good night from the Kingdome in Seattle, where this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by McDonald's. It's the good time for the great taste of McDonald's by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. There it is, Bosworth and Bo, 2 of the most heralded rookies in the history of the National Football League. This Saturday, the season premiere of ABC's college basketball doubleheader action features Notre Dame against Louisville and Indiana against Kentucky. And next week on ABC's Monday Night Football, in the AFC East, the battle between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
The Chicago Bears have lost a leader on the field, and with Mike Ditka